All right, let's just jump right in. We've all heard that there's some kind of formula for success, right? A magic recipe for becoming great at something. But what if the most famous ingredient in that recipe isn't just wrong, but maybe it's missing the point entirely? Today, we're going to unpack the real success equation.
You know this number. I bet you've even quoted it. Malcolm Gladwell made it famous in his book Outliers, and honestly, it took the world by storm. And you can see why. The idea is so simple, so empowering. Just put in 10,000 hours of practice, and boom, you can become world-class at pretty much anything.
But is it really that straightforward? I mean, is success just about grinding it out for hours and hours? What if that's not just a simplification? What if it's leaving out the most critical pieces of the whole puzzle? That's the big question we're digging into today.
To really get where this 10,000-hour rule comes from, we have to rewind a bit. We have to look at this classic, age-old debate. Are experts born or are they made? You know the one. It's the ultimate showdown of nature versus nurture.
So, you've got these two clear camps, right? In one corner, you have Team Nature. Think Francis Galton back in the 1800s, looking at families like the Bachs, this incredible musical dynasty, and saying, see, greatness runs in the family. And more recently, studies on identical twins have shown uncanny similarities in skill, even when they practice differently. But then, in the other corner, you have Team Nurture. You've got guys like John Watson, who famously claimed he could train any kid to be anything. And, of course, there's Anders Ericsson's legendary 1993 study on violinists. This is the big one, the study that actually gave us that 10,000-hour benchmark.
But reality is always a little messier than a simple either-or debate. Newer research started painting a much more complicated picture. For instance, one study on chess players found a huge range. Some reached expert level in just over 700 hours, while others took more than 16,000. So clearly, it wasn't just about the hours. When you started playing, and your natural talent mattered too. And then Dr. Aubrey Daniels added another crucial piece, pointing out that practice in a vacuum is kind of useless. You need expert feedback, you need rewards to actually get better.
Okay, so while all these researchers were debating talent and practice hours, a totally different study was happening in the background. It was a long-term look at a group of MBA graduates, and it revealed a plot twist so huge, it basically changes the entire conversation.
The study was getting at a really simple but profound idea. What if the most powerful engine for success isn't your genes or even how many hours you clock in? What if it all comes down to something much more personal, like whether you're chasing a passion or just a paycheck?
And get this, the results of this 20-year study are just staggering. Researchers tracked about 1,500 MBA grads and split them into two groups. Group A was the huge majority, 83% of them. Their plan was practical. I'll make my money first, then I'll get to do what I actually love. Then there was Group B, the small minority, just 17%. Their plan was different. Nope, I'm going to do what I love from day one. 20 years later, they checked in. And the result? Well, in the money first group, out of over 1,200 people, just one became a millionaire. But in the passion first group, 100 of them did. Let's just pause on that for a second. 488 times. That's not a small difference. That is a life-altering multiplier. The people who followed their passion right from the beginning were nearly 500 times more likely to achieve that level of financial success. That's an incredible, almost unbelievable advantage.
But, and this is a really important but, passion is not a magic wand. It's a massive advantage for sure, but it's no guarantee. A 39% success rate is amazing, but let's flip that around. It also means that 60% of the people following their passion didn't become millionaires by that study's definition. So passion is a hugely powerful ingredient, but it's still not the entire recipe.
So where does that leave us? We've got talent, we have practice, we have feedback, and now we have this massive thing called passion. It feels like we're collecting all these puzzle pieces. So how do they all fit together to give us a clearer picture of what success really is?
Okay, so we can start to build out a more realistic formula. Success isn't just one thing. It's a combination of these essential ingredients. You probably need some amount of natural talent. You definitely need those thousands of hours of focused practice. You need that smart feedback to help you improve. And as we just saw, you absolutely need a deep, driving passion to fuel the whole engine. Each piece is necessary, but no single piece is enough on its own.
But according to the source material we're looking at today, even this much more complete list is still missing one final piece. It proposes one last unifying element that it argues is the most important of all. It calls this the vision equation. So this idea basically takes everything we've talked about and stacks it together. You start with that foundation, your natural talent and your passion. Then you build on that with over 10,000 hours of hard work. You refine it all with expert feedback. But the final piece, the thing that sits on top and gives it all purpose and direction, is what the source calls a God-given vision.
So what does it mean by vision? Well, the source defines it as that one specific thing you were created to do. It's the idea that there's a unique purpose for you that aligns your talent, your passion, and all your hard work into one single powerful mission. It gives all that struggle a deeper meaning.
And this, of course, leads to a whole new definition of success. It's no longer about external things like money or fame. Instead, true success is framed as something deeply internal. It's the happy, fulfilling realization of that specific vision you were given, using the unique gifts you were given to get there.
So let's just quickly recap our journey here. We started with that famous 10,000-hour rule and realized pretty quickly it's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. We saw that things like genetics, practice, and feedback are all important parts of the story, but none of them are the whole story. Then we hit that mind-blowing discovery about passion, that 488 times multiplier. And finally, we explored how this source material ties it all together under this one unifying idea of a God-given vision.
And that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. This whole journey kind of shifts your perspective, doesn't it? It moves away from success being purely about effort. So what if success isn't something you have to build from scratch, but instead it's something you were already designed for, and you just have to discover it?